Sometimes the horse runs like it's lost a leg, and you do your cash. But monitor the market, and maybe closer to the jump you'll get more favorable odds, and then you should show conviction and back your opinion.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Coastal Boys. Myself, Andrew's Arrows. Go on, Mercantile. Won easily. That was yesterday, or today even. And welcome, Mark van Deventer, our resident in Croatia, in the sun, in the warmth of the European summer. How are you, Marcus?
Good. I'm doing great, thanks, Andrea, and it's fun to be on the show with you. Really enjoying these gigs, and thus far we've been acing it. Let's see if we can continue.
Yep, let's hope so. I mean, head-to-head, 2 for the heavyweight, not for the long reach, but we got the exactors, and they paid well.
Yes, they did indeed. I couldn't believe that last one paid really handsomely with Clark Griswold getting up late and a rather ice-cold Andrew Fortune at the moment. He's on a bit of a losing streak to totter into second behind your inspired pick. So well done there with Miami Summer. And in the race before that, Soho Heartthrob just got the better of in a timely manner, but you called it right. Well done, Butch.
Thanks, Sean. I mean, we're going to be right, hopefully more times than wrong. That's the most important part. And as long as we can write a plus at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do. Because if you write a plus, you don't lose your money. But we have a trappy, difficult Durbanville card on Saturday. Let's hope the pools mid-month. I'm not sure the pools will be that great, but I think there is value to be had. And the one selection I've taken, people might think I'm smoking something, but I will tell you all about it when we get there. But we'll kick off in the first, a maiden juvenile plate over 1,250 meters. The betting is as such: 13-10 Juliet of Verona, Romeo and Juliet. 33-10 Senorita Lolita, 7-1 Mary Cassett. A little bit of history. She's an American painter, Mary Cassett. She paints all normal day life, but from those days in the 1900s. And 8-1 Red Flag, 14-1 Cocoa Beach, and better the rest. Not a very deep race in the first. The two main protagonists look to be number 2 Senorita Lolita. Mr. Pike is on board for Lucinda Woodruff, whose stable is in red hot form. And number 3 Juliet of Verona for Candice Bass, Alda de Meyer Road. Chunk of money for this horse last time, just didn't get home. And drawn 3 today at Durbanville. Her first start at Durbanville. I think she will probably be the one to lead this pack home. Of the first timers, there were positive mentions for number 7 Enchanted Forest from the Justin Snaith yard, and number 12, even though drawn badly, Saberwing, and Fortune for Greg Enion. He did mention positive mention for that. Mary Cassett looks to be a runner with solid enough form, is held by number 2, the second favourite, but she's drawn 13, and that is very negative on a 1,250 meter race. And I think she can probably run into the places, but at drawn 13, I think it'll take a power of riding by Sean Veal to get this one home. But as I said, I think a finish race, and I think Julieta Verona probably the one to beat in this race.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Andrew. Julieta of Verona comes off 2 seconds in soft ground. She races handy. I think she'll get every chance from the draw. High percentage connections, Bass and Domeyer. For me, she is the one likely to win. 13-10 at this stage. Just check out the Interbet exchange, particularly closer to the off. You most likely will get a really generous price about these horses on the fixed odd market. Amongst the others, well, Red Flag, Senorita Lolita, and Mary Cassett. Thank you very much for the brief cultural interlude there, just to enlighten us about Mary
Keep it real.
Cassett.
Just to keep it real.
Yeah, no, cool. But 13 draw is very hard to surmount over the 1250 at Durbanville. So Juliet of Verona would get the nod from me in the opener.
Sorry to interject as well, Mark. I mean, this was the second favourite, Senorita Lolita, was 33-1 on debut, so obviously it didn't show them much at all. So she would have had to come forward she's now 15-10. I mean, from 33-1 now into, 7-2. But I mean,
Mm.
I mean, I always take note of opening when they run first time, what price they are, if they've been showing something at home, because it has to be quite a big turnaround from what she did on debut at 33-1 to try and maintain that form.
Totally. SPs are actually a very good indicator of performance. I know we all have our different form angles, whether it's speed figures or classical weight handicapping or condition analysis or pattern recognition, trainer jockey combos. We can obviously dive deeply into all of those things. But all around the world, the betting market is very efficient and over massive samples, pretty accurate. And SPs are actually a very good way of gauging expectation. And yeah, so I'm with you there. When a horse comes to light at long odds, especially early on in their career, a little bit of a question mark about the veracity of that form line.
Patience. Some of those horses just need a little
Yeah.
bit of patience. See how they run their second and third runs.
Yes.
Moving on to
Yes, for
race
sure.
number 2, a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,250 metres. Winter World of Love, 13-10. 2-1 Peach Cobbler, 6-1 Spurious, 7-1 Love Her Madly, 14-1 and Better the Rest. You must have this race down to a T. Away you go.
Well, it's a tricky one in that the horse with the best form has got the worst draw. So that's the conundrum that we faced. Peach Cobbler, Ungani will get a claim 2.5, maybe to some extent that will offset barrier 10. Steady form, nothing earth-shattering, but Peach Cobbler I think has got the strongest credentials. Winter World of Love progressed after a slow start on debut at long odds. So that one is eligible to continue to do better and now has the inside gate. As Andrew has often mentioned on these shows, I think and it's a very important factor. You can have a good draw, but you still have to take advantage of it. So it doesn't help to be drawn one and you start tardily and stagger out the pens, because in fact then it very quickly in a matter of seconds actually becomes a disadvantage. So you need to jump alertly to take advantage of a low gate. Lana's Girl found support at its second start and ran a moderate third, so that seems to be improving. Spurious, not an easy horse to ride, but would have a chance of hitting the board. And the other one that I mentioned, that I should mention, is Love Her Madly, who is a 14-start maiden, so that hardly gets the pulse to quicken. Usually horses need to win much sooner than that if they're any good. Two positives, however, Blinker Strike and Craig Zaki for Paul Reeves. So that's my short preview of it. Andrew, do you have any pearls of wisdom to add?
I've found one at a massive price that I'll be having an each way bet on. But just to go over what you've said, again, Lucinda Woodruff got another horse that started 33-1 on debut, ran third, and is now top of the boards, very similar to the first race where she has the second favourite. As I've alluded to, draw one, very dangerous, slow away, you can be chopped back very, very far. Lana's Girl, as the coming on look, stayed on for third. Best form, Peach Cobbler. I do love a good Peach Cobbler. And drawn 10, slight worry, the apprentice will board even more. I'm looking for a bit of value here. I found one, my friend will probably say that, what are you smoking? It's number 8, Runaway Romance, Keegan DeMello on board, drawn 8 for Greg Enyon. I mean, has run last in 2 of her starts, but on her second last start, she only ran 4 lengths behind Sing Forevermore, and it's been noted. She was held up as well on her second start behind In Hot Water. She does not act on the soft going. Anything with a Y or S, I don't think suits. She was an expensive yearling. She cost $500,000. She's a daughter of One World and back going slightly on top, not very hard, but I think the sting will slightly be out of it. But I think it's better going than she's had. And at 25 to 1, 33 to 1, I'm looking for her to come forward. And can't get her to those prices. I'm just expecting a much bigger run, and she'll be in all my bets come Saturday.
Well found, Andrew. That's an interesting one, and the ground really matters. In South African racing, we don't get too hung up on it to the same extent as in the UK, for example. You've had a lot of experience in British racing where the ground is considered to be one of the most important factors, and it's not unusual for connections to pull a horse on the day of a race if they don't feel that the ground is suitable. So yeah, an interesting find that.
Yeah, let's hope it runs as well as the find. We move on.
And runs to its breeding as well.
Correct. Next race just gets easier. Open maiden plate for all maidens, stepping up to a mile now. The betting is 13 to 10 ready for the road, 14 to 10 master on the moon, 7 to 2 big deal, 20 to 1 and better the rest. A very trappy race faces us here. I mean, if you look beyond the top three, I think no matter how many pins you stick, I think you're still struggling. Divine State, number 1, has struggled. Only positive that she's drawn 1. Fate of Pace, 1 decent second, seems to run second bad. I mean, maybe another second drawn 2 this time as placed at the course. Born to Master will have to come forward, even though change of trainer, Robbie Barrett now trains. Drawn 3, like he's carrying 52.5. Oh fellow, Bongani on board carrying 53. Another one, they're not sure. They've stepped themselves up from 1,500 to 2,000. One half decent run behind Bonelli, which was at Durbanville. And also, maybe shouldn't be such a big price. Master of the Moon, for me, the likely winner in the race, if I had to pick one. Richard Fury on board. Ran behind Master Corner last time. Got held up at an important stage. Has raced at Durbanville for a third from 1 start. Ready for the road. Has had 9 starts for 3 places. Actually beat Master of the Moon last start. But Richard Fury was just slightly in trouble that day. And this time, drawn 6 for Mr. Justin Snaith and Mr. Gordon on board, the blinkers. He's run 2 decent runs behind Newty Nevny and Master Coiner. But I think, for me, the 5 has got the come on look more than number 6, Ready for the Road, who's had a few chances. And then there was number 8. I thought, well, this might be an each-way bet for me. Andrew Fortune for Greg Enion. But at 33 to 10, couldn't get involved at 33 to 10. I was expecting at least 7, 8 to 1. And the last one, See the Sign. Michelle claiming the 1.5, 50.5. Drawn 9, which negates that. Blinkers, 2 starts with blinkers, has done nothing. He's held behind the Master Coin on the Master Coin run. A very, very trappy race. I've gone for Richard Fury on James Crawford, probably to beat Ready for the Road. And good luck in finding the 3rd and 4th for the quartet.
Yeah. I see it very similarly. Master on the Moon is the one for me, has been staying on nicely, and I think will reverse the form to Ready for the Road. You mentioned that it did find some traffic issues and also finished much stronger than Ready for the Road did. So for me, Master on the Moon over Ready for the Road. It's probably between those two, guys who going to the Interbet Tote platform to put on their pick 6s might be able to sneak through with horses 5 and 6. Preference for Master on the Moon. The only other 2 horses that I marked, you made reference to Oh Fellow, and I was chirping in the previous race, well, I hope the horse runs to its breeding. Look at this. The damn Oh Susanna, who won the Met, and sorry to say, this is a well-bred flop. Very, very slow. coach. Career best at this venue, though, to Benelli, and now runs off its lowest rating. So, Ofellow might be able to come to light at this very humble level. Big deal. Third and start maiden with a few places to his name. Accorded some respect, but I think Master on the Moon would be the A horse and the backup B horse ready for the road.
And I think if one of those two don't win this race, I think the tote tickets will be ready for the road. That's the, I mean,
Yes.
already for
turn
the
to
bin.
litter quickly.
Sure. Moving on swiftly to race number 4. The Rees Racing Syndicate Class 4 for fillies and mares. Back to another one of those strange distances, 1,500 meters. The betting is 7-2 Mighty Mary, 5-1 Amaya, 6-1 Katuba, 7-1 Stedford, 10-1 April Fool's Day, and Vroom Vroom, 12-1 and better the rest. A nice easy race, this one, Marcus. We have another head on, you and I.
Yes. Okay, another Ek and J. Mighty Mary is the one I'm going to take a chance on. She got a really nice speed figure last time. Finished off well. Richard Ferree did say to me, sure, she's not the soundest. She needs a tune-up. She needs a bit of tender, loving care. She's been off for 3 months since. So that does raise a bit of a query because that's quite a long gap. But I'm just taking a leap of faith that, she'll get the run of the race. She should get a smooth commute. There's some speed horses here. Boozy Susie drawn 2, Vroom Vroom 7, and the fit and inform are Stedford. They've got positive course form and they might set it up. Mighty Mary can stalk them, and then hopefully, if all parts are in working order, she can produce a nice finishing kick in this class 4. So I did put her up as one of my selections. I wish she'd had a more recent race. So I'm placing a lot of faith in the trainer that they've remedied whatever it was that was causing her aches and pains, and she's ready to produce her best. With regard to the dangers, well, there's so many of them. There's form towards the outside. I think Late Veritas is a deep closer under De Mello who should run well. Amaya has got almost exactly the same speed figure as Mighty Mary has, but that barrier draw of 13 is a major problem. April Fool's Day comes out of the same cutie patootie form line, is yet another one in the mix, but draw 14 over 1,500 is a major hindrance. Of the horses towards the inside, we have a situation. I've mentioned Boozy Susie, Apri City would be a chance, and I do respect Andre Nell's Kitala, because that was a stylish maiden victory. Another one who's been laid off since, might have strengthened in the interim, and could be a contender. You can see I'm shaking my head here,
clutching at straws now.
With trepidation, because it's a very difficult race to solve. I would monitor that interbet exchange very closely. 3.5-1 under the circumstances might be a little bit skinny, but the market can change dramatically. You just have to be alert. Just look what happened, Andrew, midweek. I mean, you couldn't believe the prices you got about Soho, Heartthrob, and Miami Summer. So this is just as an aside for punters. Don't be put off by a horse that you fancy drifting, because if you've done your research and you can make a strong case for that horse, and it drifts in the betting, then you're actually getting better odds about your opinion. Obviously, it doesn't always work out as you wish, and sometimes the horse runs like it's lost a leg, and you do your cash. But monitor the market, and maybe closer to the jump you'll get more favorable odds, and then you should show conviction and back your opinion. Speech over.
Speech over. I agree with you. There is, but there comes a tipping point. Even the big syndicates, if they make a horse 5-2, and it drifts out eventually to 10-1, they do have stop losses. They don't continue taking the value. There is a point where they believe, whoa, there's something wrong here.
Mm.
It might not,
Yes.
something might have happened in the week. They're not in stable, so they don't know. They're purely on form, the syndicates. And for them, a horse that's gone from 5 to 2, they might stop at 7 to 1 and say, well, that's enough, and still wins. But I mean, some of these horses, I mean, the prices, I mean, have been phenomenal for a lot of horses, and a lot of horses have drifted and run accordingly. I mean, it's someone's opinion who puts up the betting, and
Yes.
that's where it is. I mean, I use Interbet a lot as a tool before I play my exotics. I like to look where there's been some money for horses, because why someone back in a 25 to 1 shot or a 16 to 1 shot, probably the most traded in the race, probably like 3-4 hours before racing. So no one's throwing their money away. They must have heard something or fancy something. So often I'll include in my exotics, in a bipot or a place accumulator, a horse that is shortened in the market.
Mm.
But this, I think,
Yes.
is a 5 to 1 the field race that what we were talking
Okay.
about now. This race here,
Yeah.
I mean, Mighty
Mm.
Mary, I do give a squeak, but she's coming off the layoff. I'd like to see her run fitter. I found one year that I thought I put up as an each way price. I know she's fit and well. She's drawn 8, which is in the middle of the pack. There are some horses with form that are drawn much worse. She gets a 2.5 kilogram apprentice allowance with the Zorn Low on board. She ran a cracker. She was a bit unlucky last time behind Beneath the Clouds. Her form at the course is impeccable. 4 runs for a win, 2 seconds and a fourth. The last run was of 1,500 meters. That's what we're running over today. She was closing hand over fist. And I think at 8 to 1, I think she's a massive price, I Stedford. She's well bred out of Patala Palace. Her form has been super consistent of late. I think she's missed 1 place in her last 10, 2 places, 2 fifths in her last 10 starts. And I think that's the one I'm going for, I Stedford. And I'm expecting a massive run. Katuba, Andrew Fortune on board. Second run blinkers. Actually won quite easily last time. Quickened off the pace. She could be anything, this one-world filly. I mean, we don't know how good she is. She did have 3 not-so-good runs, and her 2 sojourns to the course she hasn't placed, which is a slight worry. Andrew Fortune, by jockey booking arrangement, looks like he's done his jobs at the Snaiths. I mean, he's riding for a lot of new trainers. Probably hear more about that in the weeks to come. I mean, they haven't even included him in runners at the Gold Cup meeting, which was quite interesting. One out thrown to trifectas and quartets would be number 3, Apricity. I think her form was solid. She ran in the same race behind Beneath the Clouds. She did cough the post-race, so I can forgive her that run. She's run behind Cutie Batuti, Educator. I think these are decent enough runs. Keenan staying on board and drawn 3, which is a positive. I think she'll sit handy. You spoke about the pace. I think that's the worrying part in this race. I'm not sure where the pace is going to come from, and it could be quite a messy race. Like Boozy Susie has led before, and looking through the field, there's no real front runner here. So it could be a messy affair, and whoever gets the run of the race. And I think this is a 5 to 1 the field race, and I think whatever you're going to back, I think the later you back, the better. See where the money's coming.
Yeah.
But I'm going for Stedford, and you're going for Mighty Mary. And let's hope they both run decent enough races. In a trappy race, as you mentioned, 10, 13 and 14. Hampstead Heath, Lady Veritas, Amaya, April Fools have good form, but they are drawn in the car park, and there's a big negative over 1,500. Let's move on to race 5. Let's get that out of the way. Race 4. Go on, Stedford. We're back over the 1,500. It's a class 5 for fillies and mares. The betting is Mon Papillon 2 to 1. You know what that means? My butterfly, a term of endearment.
Yeah.
7 to 2, given to fly. 5 to 1, Meg's Legacy. 7 to 1, Elusive Gift. 7 to 1, Princess of Bayou. 14 to 1 and better. The rest, my arrow for the day, my little butterfly. Let's hope she floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee and is in front at the end. I mean, she ran in a before sunrise form run last time. Richard Roder came from an impossible position to just not get home over 1,600. The blinkers and the tongue towel are back on board. She's placed second at the track on her last run. I think when Craig Zaki won on her when he beat Red Light Lane, he actually ran second that day, but he was promoted on an objection. He came out and said, I really like this horse. It's one of my favorite horses. I expect her to do really well. She's a great filly out of Master My Fate. And I think she just has to come slightly forward from her last run and not be in too much of a compromising position. And I think she's going to take a power of beating. Number 1, which is quite interesting, Peter Wrench raiding Cape Town. Well, they must miss the grass. They haven't had grass in Quebec forever. He's bringing the horse back from 5 runs on the par, 4 runs on the par. He must be missing the grass. Positive is drawn 1. Negative is that Keenan Staines carrying +half. Out of the rest, I don't have the rest. I'm a Mon Papillon man. And Trifectas and Quartets are thrown in Miss Attitude, even though the run at Durbanville had a win at Durbanville. But I can't really find anything else because we hold most of the field on the Before Sunrise form line, and I'm expecting this one to win.
This is where you can get a big edge in the exotics, Andrew. You know, if you find a horse in what many other people see as an open and difficult race, and you know you go for it in a big way, and it arrives, then you really you create a lot of value by making a bold pick. You actually separate yourself from from the crowd. I know in American terminology, they often refer to a pick like that as a separator, because it's, in a race where most people are going fairly deep, you honing in on a possible single. So yeah, I'll be watching with great interest. I don't have a strong opinion here. I thought that Elusive Gift would go forward and control the pace. Princess of Bayou, now with Rob Barrett, sports 2 victories here at the course, and she, I should say, has won previously off this rating of 73. Miss Attitude is another one that should race handy, has placed in this class. Meg's Legacy has won in this grade off a 4-point low rating, and the Zaki Marcus combo are in great form. La Patrona meets the par standard on my speed figure scale, but again, now we're going into double-digit draws, so that's an issue. Given to Fly would be the sort that I would probably promote based on speed figures and finishing fractions and overall form, but I am deterred by that wide draw and also that heavy burden of 63 kilograms. So tough race to snaffle, and if you see it as clearly as you do, Andrew, then you construct your bets accordingly and separate yourself from the mob. So let's see if Mon Papillon can fly away from them.
Yeah, let's hope she jumps this time. She has been known to be slightly slow away. That is one of the keys. Hopefully she can sit midfield and pounce at the right time. And that's the race. I mean, probably the main danger, as you said, is drawn the worst and carrying 63. And we have beaten her before, and we are getting a slight little weight advantage. So it all points to moving on to race number 6. Follow Gallop TV on social media, another class 4, back to the 1250 meters. The betting is Cork Bay, 18-10. A Drifter was 15-10. 7-2 Sooty, 7-2 a Lyrical Gangster. Double figures and better the rest. You found one, your Mark. Away you go.
Lyrical Gangster. That's my pick here. It went down to a very smart rival, Witch Hazel. You extolled Witch Hazel's virtues on a previous show and got the job done. Prior to that, Lyrical Gangster got a very nice speed figure in the mid-90s. Now, on my scale, if you get around 91, 92, that's good enough in a class 4. So that's another encouraging factor and should be totally tuned and fit and ready for action at this course. So I thought around 3.5 to 1 is fair value about Lyrical Gangster, and so hence that's my pick. I do respect Cork Bay, sure to run well, third after rest, speedy horse with course form. Sooty, I also have time for, especially with Richard Ferree riding for Paul Reeves. He's ridden this horse 3 times in the past for a win and 2 seconds. So he's probably ready after being off track for 76 days. Worldly is a very interesting sort. Look, he's a hold up, late running sprinter, so he needs everything to fall into place, which rarely happens. But he could maybe run into the money. The only other ones I marked towards the outside. Yo Lekker Ding is a late running threat, but probably prefers a little bit further, though she's won and placed over the strip previously. Another hero, I don't really have a proper handle on this 2-year-old. Give me the green light for Greg Enion has won with its natural speed, so it is clearly above average. Meet the King has been off track for 115 days, might need the run as well as a longer route. So, going back to Lyrical Gangster, I think if able to repeat either its most recent run to Witch Hazel or its penultimate start, could be the business in race 6.
Yeah, I think you could, if you're playing exotics, it's probably a race you could probably get away with the 3 horses in the top of the market. And if you like an outsider, throw that in. I can't argue with lyrical dancer. I think has every chance. City at 25 starts, has won at the track and 3 seconds over course and distance. The positive being that Richard Ferree rides now. I don't know. It's one of those enigma horses. When you don't fancy him, he pops up, and it's one of those in the market. I think the market is fairly correct. I thought Cork Bay deserves to be favourite. I think you've gone for the one that's the main danger. A Lyrical Gangster on the weight must have a chance. Richard Ferree, would he have had the choice to ride Lyrical Gangster or to ride Cork Bay or to ride City? Because he did ride it before. I'm not sure. I think every chance. And if you look beyond those 3, tough race, Enigma, Yo Lekker Ding, wins when you least expect it as well. I mean, she's thrown in 2 not decent run. I mean, she ran behind Kuji Patuti. She was stuck on the rail that day. She was slow away. And even her last run, she got boxed in behind on the Beneath the Clouds race. Eased, shifted, but she is dropping in trip. I always thought she needed 1600 or further. But she's back to the 1250, and she could be another one of those that could surprise. But I think makers or the people who price up have got it correct. The only one that I think might, out of this lot, will probably go a bigger price is City for the Reeves stable. It has Richard Ferree on board, but I think that's got the look that it might drift in the market. And it might be outside support for something else. But I think you could probably narrow it down to those 3. And if you're looking to throw in, find one of your outsiders and include that. That would be, for me, Yo Lekker Ding. And I'd include that in trifectas and quartets and swingers and whatever.
Yeah.
And
Andrew, I noticed, sorry to interrupt, my man. Yeah, it is a trappy race. Sorry to cut across you there. I saw in the comments some people have asked, in a race if we could just throw in weird ones that they may use in their exotic combinations. And I'm pretty strong, obviously, on Lyrical Gangster as a winner, but one that they may want to use in the lower slots of trifectas and quartets is Follow Your Heart, who on back form in 2025 actually ran some really decent races and looked like he could be a well above average sprinter. Hasn't quite run to that subsequently. Who knows? Maybe Saturday he wakes up. So that would be my suggestion as an exotic tote buster, to use Follow Your Heart in some capacity in exotic combos.
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
On that run beating Star Major.
Yes, yeah. That's a good example. It's just amazing how horses' careers can take completely opposite directions. It's quite bizarre. Sometimes you look back and you see early in a horse's career who they competed against and where they went to, or they fell off a cliff. It really
ran third.
That's
the trajectory they take. Some of them. I mean, and it can just something might have happened along the way. I mean, as you say, this horse was highly vaunted and taunted at the beginning of his career. I mean, behind North Point, Space Bound, Star Major, even ran a good
Yeah.
third behind one of your favourites, Gold Gaboski. I mean,
Yes, Gold Gaboski has been has done us a good turn a couple of times. I must be grateful for it.
okay. Moving on from race number 6, we now hit the Lucky Fish Fire Strike T Stakes back to the sprint trip over 1,000 meters. The betting is just seems to get easier, Mark. 3-1 Heritage Rich, 3-1 Hiawatha Goldberg, 5-1 Peace of Mind, 6-1 Barney McGrew, 7-1 Gravity, 8-1 Galactus, 20-1 and better. The rest, number 10 True Horizon, a non-runner. Away you go, Marcus. Find us a winner, please.
Peace of Mind. That could be the find. Ashley Fortune, Andrew Fortune, a speedy VAR mare with superior speed figures to these rivals. Hasn't won for a long time, 489 days. I just have a feel, and the blinkers come off. So I've just got a feeling that maybe if she runs back to her best figures, she could prove too swift for the opposition. The rest of them are all much of a muchness. Gravity runs in the mid 80s. Easy Money has got these are my speed figures, runs in around 88, 89. Heritage Ridge is at 85. Hiawatha Goldberg is also in the mid 80s. Whereas Peace of Mind at her very best has run 92 and above. So I'm just going purely on that. Maybe the stable switch has helped, and maybe she just loves zipping around the Durbanville bend and can get away from there. That's my take on the 7th. It's a very modest affair. The official merit rating average is in the low 60s. So none of these are going to Hollywood, I'm sorry to say. So a speculative bet at a price on Peace of Mind would be my suggestion.
Agree with you. And I think it's going to be Andrew Fortune getting to the front and slowing it down completely. I think pace is going to be the key because on her normal runs, she don't get home. That's the problem.
Yeah.
She has won twice over the distance and 10 places from 19 starts, but this is Durbanville. She's carrying 62, and I think the main danger for her is going to come from the inform Heritage Ridge. Del Ricks lost Peace of Mind to the Ashley Fortune, so she's going to be trying her damnedest to say, why did you buy that one and not this one? I mean, I think she must have a massive, massive chance. And the one that I found at a price that I'm putting in swingers, quartets, the whole bang shoot, seems to be the wrong one of the social syndicate horses. It is number 7, Country Time. I'm forgiving her last start. She's getting a bit long in the tooth, the 6-year-old mare. She has won 4 times at the track over course and distance. She, as I said, she is getting a bit long in the tooth. I've just got to forgive her last run at Kenilworth. It was in the yielding going. I don't believe we're going to see any soft going tomorrow. I think there'll be a G in the going unless they have a downpour today. And she's beating most of these. She's run second to Gravity. She beat Gravity. She ran second to Slash or Burn. You look past her last run. She didn't look too fancied in her last run. She drifted from 5-1 all the way out to 20-1. One of those horses we've been speaking about. A lot of these horses seem to be, on paper, they look to be running on top of each other behind 2 runs, behind the Hiawatha Goldberg and Easy Money. But for me, I agree with you. I thought yours had a massive chance. Thought the main dangers would come from Heritage Ridge, and I would include Country Time. Has Craig Zaki, who's stuck with her. This is the 5th time he's riding her now in a row, and I think she's massive price. I think she's 16-1 the last time. And I thought that's a big price for Richard Ferree and Robbie Barrett. I think that might drift in the market. I mean, there's going to be shorteners and there's going to be drifters. And Barney McGrew, I mean, had plenty chances. The positive for that is that's drawn Storgate 2, which is a positive. But I'm going to be focusing on the 3 horses we mentioned: Country Time,
There you go.
Heritage Reach, and Peace of Mind.
Cool.
Moving on to the Lucky Last.
This is a nice race. This is by far the strongest on the card. The programmers have left the best till last.
Best to last. Bright Future Middle Stakes, still over the 1,000 meters, so they don't have to move the starting stalls far. 7-2 All About Al. 9-2 Flying Finley. 9-2 Troy Sept Hoot. 6-1 Sardinia Bay. 8-1 North Point and Demanding Dave. Double figures and better the rest.
Intriguing. Let's quickly zip through it from the inside draws to the outside. All About Al drops in class. I beg your pardon, goes up in class, drops in weight, and a stalwart 8-year-old who should give a good sight. Adam Marcus says he still just loves racing, and he will be running on strongly. Tanneron will probably need the run, has been off after 146 days. Trois Sept Huit fortuitously held off All About Al last time. He's 5 years younger, so clearly has more scope. Demanding Dave is a very talented sprinter, has been offbeat his last 2 in the soft. Andrew Fortune's ridden him for 3 wins from 5 starts, and Demanding Dave is a really talented Horizon colt. Sardinia Bay, now talk about specialists. Choked up last time, so we just forgive him that flop. No disgrace over 1,200 behind Cafe Culture. 1,200 really stretches him. Look at his record over 1,000 meters. 4 wins from 5 starts and a perfect 3 from 3 at the course. Greg Enion and rates this horse particularly highly. He is a sharp, blitzy speedball. Elusive Winter has won fresh before, another speedy type. He tends to cave in the last bit. And then there are 2 very, very nice sprinters, but drawn towards the outside. Flying Finley, who beat Gold Jaboski when that one wasn't fully cranked up. But if you take that form line literally, they met at level weights. That was a sterling effort 2 months ago. The horse that I think has the most potential ultimately is Magical Place for Eric Sands. All 3 wins have come on a firm surface. The draw is obviously of concern, but if things pan out and he can get over and settle, then I think his talent will carry him a long way, because he's already earned speed figures of around 102, 103. So make no mistake, this is a potentially very, very smart sprinter, but draw 11 over 1,000 at Durbanville is not ideal. So it's a hard one to work out. Those
Colours to the mast.
Those are the
Colours to the mast.
Colours to the mast. Sure. I'd probably go Sardinia Bay, Magical Place, Demanding Dave, and All About. I'd mix and match those. Could you hear my voice trembling there slightly, Andrew? Not great, not great conviction. It's a hard one.
Concur completely what you've just said. I think those are the 4 main protagonists. The only one that could probably put his head down in is number 5, Troy Sept Hoot. Sean Veal on board, carrying 55.5. He's Sean back on board after the apprentice putting twice on him. My first pick would be an each way bet on number 7, Sardinia Bay. I like the 3-for-3. I like Richard Ferry on board. Greg Enion is stable in form. And I'd be taking all my trifectas and quartets with number 6, Demanding Dave. Fortune factor, Sauce and him get on so well together. Stewart had a winner in the midweek. His stable's in form. I'm in a length behind Dawn's Variety. What would Dawn's Variety do to this field? Of course,
Yes.
a win and a second from 2 starts. And I don't know if this is the right word, but the most coming on horse would be number 11, Magical Place. But 11, it's going to be tough from draw 11, because I think it's not a mediocre field. It's a solid, talented field. And it will make it even worse. The same for Flying Finley. Even though Flying Finley does lead, watch how Lyrical Gangster goes in the race before or when that runs. I see Flying Finley did beat Lyrical Gangster. Out of the rest, I think a couple of them might struggle. I know Elusive Winter, Speedy Sword, probably the pace in the race with the apprentice on board. But the Parachute comes out at the 200 and he stops like shot, like the sniper's got him. But I think Sardinia Bay, 3 from 3, I love to see that. Richard Ferry on board. Forgive its last run, choked up. I mean, this horse ran half a length behind Dance Variety. So I'm expecting a massive run. And I know how highly he thinks of this Greg Indian stabling form. Close the day with an each-way play. The favourite deserves to be favourite. I think Flying Finley will drift. I think Troy Septit might drift. North Point might drift. I think another race where it'll probably be 4-1 the field. All About Al, I think, might go a bigger price. He is the horse in form at the moment. Done nothing wrong of late. I mean, other than being 8 years old, he's found a second wind. Carrying 54 kilograms might be in his favour as champion jockey elect on board. I think the value for me is an each-way bet on number 7, Sardinia Bay, money back if he runs a place, and swingers, quartets, and trifectas, which you can play on Interbet. They do have a tote portal. I'm expecting the morning Dave to be there and thereabouts. But a trappy afternoon's racing, and I think we might hopefully have found a bit of value for everyone. Hopefully, as we said, if you have any questions or want to throw things at us, just write it in the comments below on the podcasts, and we'll try and get back to you and mention it the next time we meet.
Yeah, it would be our pleasure to do that.
Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Be lucky, Marcus, and have a good weekend.
Yeah, all the best there to Andrew's Arrows and funding the show. Hope we pointed people in the right direction. And yeah, just quickly, Andrew, who's going to win the World Cup?
I'm funking for Spain.
Okay. Yeah, I see Interbet had them 13-10 to win it. That would be my pick.
I think that
they play really controlled, beautiful, skillful. Yes, exactly. They play really controlled, skillful football, cohesive outfit, unbelievably good defensively. But sure, the Argentinians have been riding their luck and squeaking home by hook or by crook.
Yeah,
they're a feisty outfit, huh?
Going for a second win. Good old Messi. I think it'll be a great game, whatever the result.
Great sport.
Let's hope we see goals.
Andrew?
A goal early.
Yes.
And a better game, not a dour final. But let's concentrate on racing. Let's find a few winners tomorrow. Get a bit of float to go into the soccer match, and gearing up for the Gold Cup. So all the best,
you, Marcus.
My man. Have a good one.
A lot of fun. Be well.